What a weekend of football, man, I tell you. That actually was mad. Like, what's going on? And I mean, there's no better place to start, really, than with Tottenham. Like, what's going on over there? They're a funny team this season, man. Unless you support them, of course, then obviously it's a painful, painful season so far. But for everybody else, man, it's great. I can't lie. It's so funny. Like, who could have predicted at the beginning of the season that right now, Tottenham would be in 15th place in the Premier League table? Like, what is that? I'm sure if everyone's like predictions at the beginning of the season, they were thinking, oh, maybe Spurs could break into the top 6, maybe the top 4 if they really get like going, you know, making some moves. Made some decent signings as well, so there's a bit of hope there, a bit of potential. But I'm sure most predictions would have put them in like the 5th or the 7th mark, in between there kind of thing. But like 15th. 15th. Crazy, man. It's crazy. Now, I am aware that there is still like 16 games to play, right? There's loads of football to be played yet. We're only in January. Long way to go in the season. They could still finish in the top 7 if they really get it right. But more than likely, the way things are going, the form they're in, it's not going to happen, my dudes. They're barely going to finish top 10. And with each game week that passes, it kind of gets less and less likely that they're going to finish anything higher than 10th. Like, honestly, it's mad. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. We're going to look at why Tottenham are 15th, which is going to be a video I'm going to thoroughly enjoy. And also, we'll try and explore as to what Tottenham can expect for the rest of the season. Will it get better? Will it get worse? Let's go. If we cast our minds back about 12 months or so, remember last season when Tottenham were top of the table and they were kind of cooking? It was Ange just came through. It was his first season at Tottenham and they were cooking. Like, they were beating everybody top of the table until obviously they played against Chelsea and Chelsea kind of did their thing. Nicolas Jackson scored his hat-trick. Crazy game. But you could see like there was something building. It's like, all right, this Ange Postecoglou guy, there's a style of football there. There's an idea. There's entertainment. There's goals. You know, it's unreal, right? It's looking good. Tottenham is starting to cook with their players. And that was 12 months ago. And a year on, they are 15th with similar players, a few new faces here and there, but like still obviously the same idea of playing at the back and all this kind of chaos and just playing through the teams and through the lines and all this entertaining football that, you know, obviously Ange loves so much. And I think as spectators, as neutral especially, it is fun to watch, I can't lie. But that Tottenham starting 11, they were quality. They were doing some insane things, scoring some great goals last year, and now they're just, I don't know, they're scoring plenty of goals. I mean, they've got the second most goals scored in the league, and they're in 15th. It's mad. I'm going to emphasize this, by the way. There's going to be a lot of 15th talk in this video, just because I enjoy saying it. Tottenham in 15th. Tottenham in 15th. I'm sorry if you're a Tottenham fan, but I just can't believe Tottenham are in 15th. Now, I hate to say things like on their day, right? Because any team on their day can beat anyone. But especially in the case of Tottenham here, their starting 11, their main 11, they're like proper team. On their day, can be anybody. You know what I mean? It's a proper good team. The way Ange plays, and if they're all on song, all doing their thing in the flow state and all this kind of, you know, magical football they can play. If they're cooking anyone. They're unbelievable. But the second, as we're going to get into it and discover, obviously get a few injuries, you know, it starts to get beneath the cracks and you can see a lot of issues appear. It's, yeah, it's not that great. And now that Ange Postecoglou's had a couple of transfer windows, has he bought the wrong players? Is he in control? Has Daniel Levy, you know, the guy above him, really let him down with the signings? Because I feel like there's a bit of a split between Tottenham fans. You guys have to let me know in the comments below where I am on this. But I feel like there's a split between those that want the manager gone or the ownership gone. You know what I mean? Or at least some change in between, you know? Because Daniel Levy has done a lot for the club. Obviously built a brand new stadium, signed a lot of players. Maybe the wrong players, but he spent a fair bit of money. You know what I mean? It's not as if he's been tight with his cash like other owners have in the Premier League. He's been spending money. And I think you got to remember in the most respectful way possible, like, as a Tottenham Hotspur fan, I suppose you don't really expect the world's best players joining your club, do you? So you got to be a bit smart in the transfer market, try and find some hidden gems here and there. And they've definitely done that. I mean, for starters, I think Van de Ven is quality. He's a top centre-back. I mean, Heung-min Son came from Bayer Leverkusen, of course, but he was kind of under the radar and exploded into the player he is now. But if you look at the recent signings, they haven't really hit the ground running. I mean, one example for me being a Chelsea fan is Timo Werner. All right, I can't lie, this guy is hilarious. He's so fun to watch because he's just, I love the guy. He's a great human being, Timo Werner, but he's just such an awkward footballer. I don't know what it is. His dribbling is weird. He doesn't really seem in control of the ball. He's super quick, right? He's got electric pace. We can all see it. But when he's got the ball at his feet, he looks so lost. Like, he's clueless on what to do. Is he going to go left foot, right foot? Is he going to pass? Is he going to dribble? Is he going to shoot? You know, I don't think he even knows what he's going to do. Now, I don't want to go on about Timo Werner too much because, you know, he's a nice guy, like I said, you know. And it's not just him either. He's not the only one. I mean, another attacking signing is Richarlison. He seems to really have a stop-start career at Tottenham, whether it's through injuries or not really performing very well, a bit of both maybe. He's a player we've spent a lot of money on that hasn't really performed or lived up to the expectation when they first signed him. But I don't want to focus on the attack too much because, like I said, Tottenham have scored the second most goals in the Premier League so far, which is obviously very good going, right? Clearly going forward is not an issue. It's the other end. It's defensive issues, which is going to bring me nicely into the next point of injuries. We did mention it briefly a second ago, but like, yeah, the injuries at Tottenham are crazy. It is a, I guess, genuine excuse, right? Injuries are a part of football. They do happen, and you got to be prepared for it. But like, to the extent that Tottenham have had, like the injuries they've had over the course of this season has been nuts. Like how I mentioned earlier about the starting 11, you get beneath the cracks, everything starts to be exposed, and it's not so great. Like, these key player injuries have been so extensive and so long as well. They've actually just proper killed the team. But one of the favourite situations that I found with Tottenham and the injuries and all this stuff is when they played Chelsea a few weeks back, right? They tried to rush back, you know, Mickey van de Ven, who was injured for a long time, and also Christian Romero, who was also injured for a long time. They tried to speed them back up to get in time for the Chelsea match. Obviously a big game, you know, it's London Derby, all this kind of stuff. So they rushed these players back who were already injured, and they get injured again during that game. And they're both missing another, I think, month and a bit because of that one match. Where had they just slowed down a roll, but alright, these guys are injured, don't rush them back, think of the long-term plan instead of short-term. And they may be playing today. You know, obviously they weren't playing today, lost to Everton 3-2 on the day I'm making this video. So, yeah, they may have kind of shot themselves in the foot in that situation. The season is longer than just one fixture, you know what I mean? One fixture isn't going to really make or break your season, unless obviously it's a cup situation, knockout rounds, all this kind of stuff, which obviously Chelsea against Tottenham in the Premier League was not a cup knockout round, so it's not the end of the world if you don't get anything out of it, but it can ruin your season if you get them injured again, which they did. So it's very bizarre to me. I don't understand it, why they did that. And it kind of goes to show you the thinking behind Tottenham. They're kind of just a bizarre club who do make crazy decisions. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't know who was in charge of that decision to say, Romero and Van de Ven, you're playing today. You might have half a leg, but give it your best shot, you know? But because of those two centre-backs getting injured, they've had to play makeshift centre-backs to replace him. Obviously, Dragusin is a centre-back. He's playing there a lot. He's meant to be a backup, but he's getting a lot of game time now. And he's all right, you know? He's getting exposed every now and then. But obviously, a centre-back partner is Archie Gray, who is mostly a midfielder, a very good midfielder. Young 18-year-old midfielder, came from a championship. Quality player, but he's not a centre-back. Although he's done well in his time doing that, he's trying to learn a new position, which for any football player is quite difficult, right? Especially in centre-back. And especially in the Ange Postecoglou system where you're playing up from the back, the centre-backs are on the ball quite a lot. It's going to be quite tough for him, of course it is. So no wonder they conceded a lot of goals. But it's tough on him, and it's tough on the other defenders too, especially in left back. Well, obviously Destiny Udogi's injured for a long time. They've had to bring in like Jed Spence in left back. Ben Davies is injured, so he can't play there. And it seems to me like Tottenham were not prepared. You know, they were not prepared to have their 3, 4, 5 main players out of their starting 11 at the same time. And as I'm recording this video on the 19th of January, they've only signed a goalkeeper, and they haven't signed any other backups, any other squad players, anything like that to, like, you know, bolster the team and give themselves, you know, an absolute opportunity to recover what's already been a tough season, to maybe try and creep up. But no, they're just not really doing too much. So to end the video, I'm trying to end it as always on a positive note for the Spurs fans. Well, I believe towards the end of the season, you know, what can they expect? I think there's an opportunity, all right, which I think for some Spurs fans, they probably lost all hope already, being 15th and seeing the table. It's not looking good, but all injuries do eventually end, all right? You do come back to fitness, right? It's not as if you're injured forever. It's only a few weeks, maybe a month here or there. So eventually the injured players will return, and they are returning at a crucial part of the season. Obviously the business end of the season is the most important part. So they'll hopefully, for Spurs fans' sake anyway, they'll have their most important team, their starting 11 team available maybe towards the end of the season, you know what I mean, in crucial key games where like it's knockout rounds, it could be a final, you know. Obviously they've 1-0 up against Liverpool in the League Cup, so they got a potential to get to a final, which for Spurs is massive. They're still just about in the FA Cup, they're still in the Europa League, so they're still in 3 competitions here. And if they get their players back, get through injuries, and maybe just, you know, maybe sack off the Premier League hopes from there. They could scrape a trophy, which would be for Spurs fans massive. But also, if the results are starting to creep downhill like they have been a lot recently, is Ange Postecoglou gonna get the time he needs to fix this team? Is he gonna get enough time for the injured players to come back? I don't know. But that's gonna do it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about the whole topic of this video. Is Ange gonna get enough time? Are Spurs gonna finish top half of the table? Are they gonna win anything this season? Are they gonna get a trophy if the injured players return and start to actually cook again like they have done before? But yeah, that's gonna do it today. Thank you all for watching as always. Appreciate your support. Truly incredible. Yeah, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video when we talk about some football in a bit.